All right. Thank you very much to everyone that is here today. My name is Waverly Woods. I am the chair and CEO of Virginia Freedom Caucus and our local Virginia Beach Tea Party. We are here to do a press release on repealing the meal tax that so many of us, all of us, are being burdened with, but so many of us are now paying as we go out to dinner. I first would like to thank every one of these volunteers standing with me. They are out collecting these petitions, getting them signed, and they're doing it on behalf of everyone out there that is against this meal tax that's plaguing our city and killing our small businesses. So let me again say thank you to all of you who are volunteering. Thank you to all of the business owners out there that are with us, the restaurants in particular, but certainly any other business that will help us collect these petitions. We have a slew of them that are working with us. At the end of this, I'll announce where we're having some events with some of these businesses. Please keep in mind that the businesses that are hosting these events are doing it because they're struggling, but moreover, they're here for the long haul. They are community people. They are struggling, but they understand how all other families are struggling too. And so I want to encourage everyone to participate and go visit these businesses that are actually helping us reduce this tax and repeal it completely. So thank you for that as well. I do want to take a moment and thank our attorney, Gary Byler with Byler Iaquinto. He is the machine, if you will, that helped us get this through the court system. We did follow this referendum to the letter of the law. We did have to present facts to a judge for them to sign off on it, and Gary Byler certainly helped us do that. And you can go by Gary Byler's office on Independence and sign the petition there as well. So I would be remiss not to thank him. But the other huge thank you goes to former Councilman John Moss. He has been so instrumental. I can't imagine us not being able to have him and have the access that we've had with John to help us formulate this. He really did a lot of the heavy lifting, and I can't be more grateful to your time, your talent, and your patience with this ragamuffin group that we have just trying to save our country. So I am grateful for that. But that said, let me continue with our press release. Virginia Freedom Caucus and the Virginia Beach Tea Party announced their support for the Repeal the Meal Tax referendum in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Today, Virginia Freedom Caucus, accompanied with the Virginia Beach Tea Party, form a coalition with the many businesses and citizens of Virginia Beach to push back against the high taxes, unnecessary high cost of living, and flagrant waste of spending the Virginia Beach City Council has burdened the taxpayers with. For far too long, Virginia Beach City Council has favored the developer donor class over the people that they were elected to serve. The people of Virginia Beach face unreasonable personal property tax, rising grocery expenses, flooding neighborhoods, and now should they have the pleasure and privilege of going out to dinner, they must pay an additional 6% meal tax, all to manage the mismanagement of our hard-earned revenue. This is a total of 12.5% meal tax to every person on top of every other tax you already pay. It's higher than the New York City meal tax. While business owners suffer these malfeasance with many other taxes and fees like property tax on every item they use for their success, these ridiculous annual taxes are on the business signs, staplers, and even trash cans. They pay taxes on filing cabinets, decorative pictures, and chairs. Many of the family-owned businesses struggle to keep open because Virginia Beach is no longer business-friendly, unless the business is amongst the developer donor class. We cannot rely on organizations for facts, as too often the uniparty protect their own interests and abuse the trust of those members within the organization. The never-ending emails and commercial campaigns say the same thing repeatedly. Donate to us. Be a member with us, because we'll protect your rights, your freedom, and your tax dollars. But does that really happen? Whoever is in power, they rarely come through with promises. Often, they settle for compromise. that leaves all of us holding the tab. Aren't we tired of the bait and switch? We must do our own research on these issues. Our city council is the perfect example of the uniparty. Both political parties share responsibility for the blatant misuse of our tax dollars with private-public partnerships. To recover from those losses, we now have an additional 6% meal tax. Enough is enough. If you have had enough, please join our coalition to stop the insanity. You can help by collecting petitions for the referendum, and as an individual, or even as a business owner, please contact us through info@virginiafreedomcaucus.com, or you can certainly email me, chairman at vbtp.org. So again, it's info@virginiafreedomcaucus.com, or email chairman@vbtp.org. We want your support. We need the help to retain these signatures and to absolutely send a clear message to City Council that we have had enough. Now, to take this to another level, I'm going to introduce Teresa Chadwick. She is our vice chair of the Virginia Beach Tea Party, and I've asked her to go over the wasteful spending list that we have had to endure over years. So again, we didn't get here yesterday. This has been an accumulation of wasteful spending and irresponsible spending with bonds on everything that are really affecting our tax dollars. So Teresa, thank you. Would you please read what we've been wasting money on?
Thank you very much, Waverly. Virginia Beach Public-Private Partnerships. In 2000, Town Center was done in phases with over 100 million public investments. And you can look that up on Wikipedia, Virginia Beach Town Center. 2024, Pembroke Mall, we are paying $30,000 per parking space. The city is paying about $22 million for 2 public parking garages on the site with a total of 745 spaces. Like the town center garages, parking in them is free. The 51 cents of real estate tax in the proposed budget is to pay for Pembroke Mall and Amazon. The wave pool, $331,464,152 Atlantic Park public funding. In 2024, an additional $1.8 billion was added to the $125 million of public money already invested in the construction of the entertainment venue, parking garages, and streetscape improvements. This year's city budget reserve $4,937,470 for Atlantic Park Development Agreement, and the CIP has $3 million for dome maintenance. 2003, the 31st Street Hotel private-public partnership with the city that included a parking garage and Neptune Park, where the iconic 26-foot bronze statue of the God of the Sea towers over the boardwalk. We sold the land to him for $3.7 million. The 2 parcels were valued at a combined $11.6 million. The hotel itself is worth about $42.5 million. The entire cost of the public-private venture was $79 million, with the city putting in $31.7 million for a garage, park, and land purchases. In 2013, the Cavalier Hotel in the city paid $18 million for development rights to preserve the iconic lawn and $18 million in gap financing. They also approved development of housing on the lawn on both sides, leaving just the middle with the Cavalier name. They dead-ended a street for Marriott Hotel across the street for valet parking. The city kicked in money for the cul-de-sac project, including around $245,000 for the initial road design and an unexpected $380,000 to replace an aging water line and sewer pipe near the foundation of the 40th Street traffic signal pole. Private developers are usually expected to cover the cost of water and roads when developing. And we need you to sign, we encourage you to sign our petition, chairman@vbtp.org. And Gary Byler is our attorney at Byler & Quinto at 505 South Independence Boulevard.
Thank you, thank you. And just to add to what she said, our current city council, please keep in mind, 2 days before Thanksgiving wanted to give themselves a 70% raise. You stopped that. We called the whistle on them and told you that 2 days on a Tuesday, Thanksgiving's on Thursday, they planned on voting themselves in a 70% pay raise. That didn't happen, and that's because of people like you that are out there that said enough is enough. A 70% pay raise, ironically, 2 days before Thanksgiving, this is where we've had enough. Something's got to give. That said, I want to turn this over to former Councilman John Moss, who actually helped us put this referendum together. Please explain the process.
Well, first of all, you have to compose a question. You have to be able to explain what yes means, what no means, and the facts behind the answers to both those questions. You then have to submit your proposed question on the petition form, along with the supporting material, to the clerk of the circuit court. And then she does the liaison with the judge to make sure that the question conforms with the city charter and the state statutes, all of which was done. You cannot collect signatures until all that has happened, because that means that those petitions that you sign have been reviewed and approved per state law and the city's charter by the circuit court in the city of Virginia Beach.
Okay, now explain, if you will, what this city can do to prevent this tax and how it's going to affect so many people in this in the city.
Well, there's two ways you can ask a question. One, you can say, what's the city going to do? But then you have the more important question is, what's going to happen to the restaurant businesses, their employees, their suppliers, if in fact they go out of business because their net profit margin at best is around 4% at best, and look at the pressure that you see at the grocery store, they see those same pressures. The next 2 years at least, we're going to see the cascading effect of increased cost of fertilizer, transportation, you name it. Food prices are going to rise. And what do we all know? That 80% of American families, if they're lucky, might have a few pennies at the end of the month, and that doesn't include eating out. So we have seen a number of restaurants already close, as you know,
That's correct.
because there's insufficient volume and they're not profitable. Others close 2 days a week. That's probably 2 days they don't get tips, 2 days they don't get a salary. So that impacts their livelihood and affects the overall economy. So you have to ask yourself, who's in a better position to absorb a $111 million reduction? People who are the owners of government, or the government that is confiscating their earnings that they don't have? So I think the right question to ask is, when a city's budget's going from $2.6 billion to $2.9 billion, that's an 11.53% increase, which means they're taking more money out of people's pockets. So this isn't about what does the city have to give up. What is the city council asking the owners of government who already are sacrificing on necessities? What are they asking us to give up so they don't have to change? Now, the Virginia Restaurant, Hotel, and Lodging Travel Association, I hope I got that right, did their own white paper talking about who pays these taxes. Who pays the meal tax? Not surprisingly, meals that go between $15 and $25 are about 70% paid by the residents of the locality with the tax. If the meal is under $8, it's 85%. And of fast food, and sort of quote casual dining, that's kind of ambiguous, approximately 85% of that revenue comes from residents. So we're taxing ourselves. There's other ways to more efficiently spread that kind of tax. Even if you thought you needed the money, that's not a very efficient way of collecting it, because it's not deductible, it's not very visible, which I think they like, and also it hurts the businesses. We'd have, just think if we had no meal tax, how many people would be holding their weddings, their conventions, their you name it in Virginia Beach, because you'd save, what, over Norfolk, you'd save, I think they're now 13% or close to it. You'd be saving like 6 or 7% on the cost of a wedding, cost of any kind of a banquet. You'd be coming to Virginia Beach. We would grow business with no tax. And guess what? Restaurants get taxed on their gross receipts. So it's kind of like tax on tax.
It is.
So we need to simplify taxes. We need to lower the cost of government, and we need not to have our small businesses, these are the mom and pops that are going to be the most hurt, go out of business because we thought we needed $111 million, an 11.5% increase in spending, more than people needed it to economically survive in their business and their employees. It's a wrong tax. It's a regressive tax. Even, you can say, oh, well, eating out's a luxury. Well, I tell you what, if you are a dual parent or a single parent family with kids playing sports, fast food is not a luxury. It's a necessity to get stuff done. And these are the people that really have the least among us often, and we're putting that extra stress on those families.
It's true.
It's just wrong. And the fact that they're so casual to say, well, what should we give up?
Well, Teresa just gave us a list of
Yes.
things.
But they don't think about, wait a minute, they're confiscating revenue. So if you're going to take something from someone, you should be telling them what they should be giving up, not what they need to give up, because we're the employers, they're the employee. So the employees should be hearing from us, your price is too high, your tax is wrong, what are you going to do to fix it so that you can stay in office? Otherwise, anyone can raise my taxes. I'm looking for people on council that are going to do what? Listen to us, actively listen. Listen to the businesses. This is universal.
Right.
That this is a tax that's contracting the economy and reducing economic growth. We want to grow the restaurant business, and that means lift the tax, give Virginia Beach a competitive advantage in Hampton Roads, eliminate the tax, and they will come and eat.
Right. So you mentioned something earlier, John, that I think many people don't realize. Business owners have to pay for a business license every year, and that business license is a percentage of their gross sales. So if you've only made $50,000 one year, which is no business in this city, then you pay a percentage of that gross sale. If you make $1 million in your business in a year, then you pay a percentage of that $1 million. So it's not a flat rate business license at all. So they're getting a lot of money out of these businesses, not just the business license that they have to pay every year, but now they're taxed on all the property stuff. As I mentioned before, the signs, the decorative figurines or things like that to make their business welcoming, chairs, things like that, they have to pay a personal property tax. So these businesses are already being charged a lot of nickel and dime tax fees.
And Waverly, don't forget, they need really to get some offset relief from the General Assembly tax that's going to make businesses provide sick leave and annual leave. Not saying that's a good thing, a bad thing or a good thing, but now it's not whether the business can afford it, the business is going to be forced to provide it. That cost has to be passed on to the customer or they go out of business.
That's right.
So this reducing this meal tax would even help offset, not only will it bring business in, which is great, it'll help offset the business that doesn't come because our prices are going to be even higher. So who benefits from higher prices on meals? Who's the only person that benefits?
Oh, the government.
Right. So government has every incentive. They love inflation. They love higher prices because they benefit. And who always loses from those kind of taxes?
Every one of us. Every one of us.
So here it is. If you believe in limited government and good business practices, the meal tax has to go. And this goes into effect not this year, July 1 of next year, if they listen to us.
That's right.
So they have 6 months, which is more than enough time for the intellectual talent that's in the building behind us to figure out how to make that happen and have a discussion with us. I'm sure many people who live on much less can help them at the table because they're balancing their budgets and having to make tougher choices than they're making, and I'm sure they would volunteer their time and talent to help the city find the things they can do away with.
Exactly, exactly. The other thing that I want to point out is the perceived donations that our city council members have received. Okay, so there's nothing illegal about getting a campaign donation. So they've received it. Anybody running for office receives campaign donations. We all know that. The facts that I'm going to go over with you as well all come from VPAP. That's VPAP.org. That's Virginia Public Access Project.org. And it lists every one of our city council members and their donations. So just going over some of the key donors to Mayor Dyer. Michael Michael Siphon has given $34,500 to Mayor Dyer. The Franklin Johnson Group gave $30,000. Stacy Cummings donated $26,000. MEB General Contractors, almost $18,000. Dragus Association, $16,000. Breeden Companies, $15,000. Bruce Thompson, $15,000. QED Systems, $14,000. Greg Twitt, $11,000. So it goes on and on. BHL Community Service, $10,000. Checkered Flag Motor Car, $10,000. So every one of these people have received donations from these developers. There's nothing illegal about receiving those donations, but what is the perceived intention? Are these same developers the ones that get the private-public partnerships that we just mentioned? Some of them. This is certainly not all of them that have been listed here. We have plenty more. But my question is, what does it look like to you when these same developers give this kind of money to our city council members, and then they get private-public partnerships to develop things on our behalf, where in many cases we have to put more money back into it, like the Wave Park next to the ocean, because all of the hotel swimming pools aren't good enough, right? Those hotels have their own swimming pools and would love to have their guests stay at their hotel and spend money at their restaurants. But no, we have to have a wave park next to the ocean front and spend millions, hundreds of millions of dollars to have a wave park? How does that make sense? And what private-public partnership did these developers get that donate to these campaigns? We're going to go into this more as this goes on, but you're going to get real breakdowns of who these developers are and what private-public partnerships they've been involved with. So again, I want to thank everyone that's come out today. I want to thank every one of your hard efforts. It's not going unnoticed, certainly by me, but I know it's not going unnoticed by many of the business owners. On May 13th, we're going to be at the Family Fun experience that's right down at the oceanfront, right? This business, Tim Ritter, is a great guy. He cares about you. He cares about your tax dollars and how they're being spent. He is hosting an event at his restaurant where you can come and sign the petition. This is a restaurant that I want to give a lot of business to. I want to help his business survive because he cares about you. He cares about the dollars that you have to spend, and he is grateful for every bit of business that you can give his business. So he is in it for the long haul. And it's businesses like that that we really want to patron. We have many other businesses that are with us. That is our first really huge event that we're going to do at the oceanfront, and I hope to see all of you there 5:30 to 8:30. The Family Fun Experience right down at the oceanfront. It's a great place to be. It's a huge event, and please come and see us on May 13th. You will see some other events. We're going to post them as well, and come and sign our petition. We need your help because we're doing this for all of us, not just for one of us. Thank you so much. And again, thank you, John Moss.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Gary Byler, and we hope to see you all soon.
Yay.